Hi, my name is Johnny Robinson. I'm the founder and director of Gaius Ministries, a prison ministry that seeks to fill in the gap for those in prison and in the free world and their families and everybody associated with that, as well as the church out here. But the reason I founded this ministry is I did over 36 years in prison myself, and I haven't been out too long. But while I was there, I encountered this gap in my own life several times, and but especially when I was trying to reach out and help other people through the church. I don't have any resources or family or anybody like that can help me, so I don't have those things to help somebody else. And there's all kinds of occasions where somebody just needed help, and that help couldn't be provided. Like a guy's daughter one time. Uh, she had just got back in contact with his life, but she was in a bad lifestyle, falling into drugs and things like this. She promised to come see him, and she didn't. And then we didn't hear from her for a long time. And so he writes, he calls, he does all these things. He can't get in contact. He don't know if she's alive, she's dead. And so somebody needed to go over there and check on her. But if you're a minister or a volunteer or something like that, and you come into the prisons, you're not allowed to do those kind of things. You can't create any kind of personal contact like that. Another example, I tried to help a guy that might get deported back to Burma. It's a long story, but he didn't speak any English. His whole village was destroyed by the Burmese army when he was between 4 and 5 years old, and he grew up in a Thailand refugee camp from the age of 5 to 25. And while he was there, he'd gotten married to a girl, and they got pregnant, had a kid, and got converted to Christianity by missionaries and brought to America later on. When he gets over here and he gets a domestic violence charge, he pulled a knife on her and threatened her because she was selling her oats and moving around and learning to be free in a different culture that's free. And he didn't like that and tried to keep her at home, was afraid he's going to lose her, that whole kind of thing. And they might not even been in love. But anyway, so he gets 2 years out of this, and he's under threat of being deported back to Burma. But if he goes there, it's a death sentence. His race is slaughtered there just for existing. And he don't speak any English. And so I was trying to help him uh, fill out a form for him and stuff to get him not to go. And I called his lawyer, I called Catholic Charities, I talked to pastors that came in, and all kinds of people, and nobody wrote back, nobody did anything. And the people that could either felt like they couldn't, and they would just listen and yeah, I help and do this, and they never did anything. And and so COVID hit, shut everything down. I got shipped, and now he's gone, and I don't know what happened because I got shipped to another unit, and I just couldn't help him. And all it would have taken was somebody in the free world to make some calls and get a hold of the right person, and they could send him a form or send me the form, and I could have filled it out for him and made sure he got a hearing to investigate whether it was safe for him to go home because he had paperwork. Somehow the Secret Service had said that his homeland was not a threat to him, but it was. That was a mistake, either some kind of miscommunication because he nobody speaks his language. It's Karen, Karen, and anyway, so there's all kinds of things like that. There's a guy I'm trying to help right now whose mother lives in another state. She doesn't uh, know how to use a computer very well or anything like that, and they have tablets now in prison, and so they can email you and maybe even video visit with you and their family and keep in touch. And family is very important. And she don't know how to do any of that kind of stuff. And there's really nobody to help her. She's elderly, and so I want to try to help her get that done, and maybe get involved with some churches to help her. Maybe even bring her to the prison to visit her son. And so there's just all kinds of things like that need to be done. That if you go into the prisons, you're precluded from doing by the rules and the setup. And and then just be for people. They got children out here. They're older. Their kids are 19 and 20 and just going, and or even younger, and their wife is young and struggling and trying to make it meet. And so, Gaius Ministries can help them find and create or become part of a support community in the church to help them in all these ways, and just advocate for people and be a license. So that's what it's about. It's about meeting needs that are not being met, and reaching into the prisons. Bible studies, everything that's going on. Whatever the need is, we want to meet it. And so if you're interested, email me at Johnny JOHNNYLR67 at gmail.com. I'd love to have some help with this, and we can be family to our family in prison. That's what they need. They need family. They need personal contact. When you go to prison, you're stripped of your identity and just replaced with a name. You become a statistic. You're either a murderer, a burglar, a thief, or whatever forever, in the eyes of the state and in the eyes of a lot of people. And so all these kind of things work together and kind of separate you. Just like out here, you got all the social media and the internet and uh, the electronic cyber world taking over existence so that a person's busy with their job and these things and all those things at the expense of personal relationships with other people and time spent face to face. Well, that's very, very more, very much more acute in prison, where you don't so much have the social networking and everything going on to distract you, but you're cut off from everything and everybody. And so the people that come in, they don't really bridge that gap. They come in, they preach a sermon, they teach you some things, and maybe help you get some life skills. And those things are necessary, but they're not all that's necessary. You know, we're built by God to be social, to be uh, united, and to help each other, and to lift each other up, and to love each other. I mean, the primary thing that we're to do is to love each other. Loving God first, of course, but to love each other. And you can't love anybody from a distance. You can't love anybody through a program. Programs are impersonal. They can't help you on that level. They can feed you, they can clothe you, they can do some things to help you make it on your own, but they can't love you. They can't heal you. And that's what people do. And that's how God reaches out to help people. So that's what Gaius Ministries is about. And I know there's a lot of people in the church and even in some prison ministries already that want to do more and that want to help and want to reach in and they don't really know how. Well, I can help you with that. And we can work together, or I can just hook you up with some things that are going on and show you what's going on and how to help. And I can answer any questions. I did over 36 years in prison here in Texas. And so I'm very well acquainted with all the situations there. And so you can contact me for anything.